easing some of these challenges for young guys who want to enter into entrepreneurship?
Yes, look, it's hard, but it's not as hard as when I started. Okay, which means it's improving. There is a greater appreciation amongst governments in Africa than at any time before that they need to be doing something to empower young entrepreneurs if they're going to create jobs. Okay, so it's a collective thing. It begins with that process of creating an awareness and a consciousness. Okay, and so it also requires you young entrepreneurs and media and so forth to be constantly promoting young entrepreneurs. The more people in the society link the creation of jobs and wealth with entrepreneurs, the more change takes place. Jobs don't come from someone going to the government to get a job. The best jobs come when there's an entrepreneur who hires somebody and begins to hire more and more people. But we also got to promote young entrepreneurs to be looking more at these new technologies, new ideas, internet companies, these kind of areas, because that's what will take you global.
Okay. Okay. You spoke about entrepreneurs being disciplined, so they are financially. Can you expand on that?
What part of it do you want me to explain? Yeah. Discipline is the bridge between what you desire to do and its accomplishment. Okay. It's a bridge. Okay, you can be, if you're an entrepreneur, if you want to be an entrepreneur, okay, but at the same time you don't want to work in the evening, that's an indiscipline.
So financial discipline.
Yeah, but when it comes to financial discipline, there's no growth with no financial discipline. That's all I can tell you. You cannot grow a business when the business has two masters. It's competing with you for your needs, and it's competing for its needs. Because remember, the business needs the money to grow. But if you're coming in and you say, I want to build a mansion in the best part of Accra, okay, then the business has to give room. So it can't grow.
Okay. So that's basically on your baby, that's Kwese. And now Supersports came out with their competing brands.
I make it a principle never to compete, never to comment on a competitor. I never even mention names. Okay? All I can say is that I'm glad that finally we're helping the people of Ghana to get a proper price for these things. If you're feeling that scared at just the time I enter, I wonder how scared you'll be a year from now.
Thank you very much.
So please, I would like to find out what's going to be your advice for young entrepreneurs. Would you advise them to focus on building a brand or making profits? I'm asking that because sometimes when you come up with something, there may be others who have young entrepreneurs.
Look, the most important thing that when you're coming into a new industry, into an industry where there are more established people, okay, you should never be afraid about how big they are or how established they are. What you've got to focus on is what innovation are you bringing that is going to disrupt and change the situation. But if you're coming to do exactly what the incumbent is doing, you will always struggle. Okay? You notice, if I may mention the example of Kwese, isn't it? Was I aware that there is an incumbent there? Of course I'm aware there's an incumbent who's virtually a monopoly. Okay? But I've got to come in with innovations. So for instance, I gave you Kwese Free Sport. Okay? We have millions of Ghanaians, millions, watching Kwese Free Sport. It's a 24-hour free sports channel. but it's actually one of 7 sports channels that we have. But that channel is free. It is broadcast for free. And guess what? We give you free English Premier League. Okay, and guess what? If you have a decoder and you don't have money, turn on your decoder. Kwese Free Sport is still there. Okay? It's an innovation, isn't it? So you have to, I'm giving it as an example for you to see an innovation. We've just made a decision that anyone with a Kwese decoder can watch 5 channels for free. So you don't need to pay anything. You've got 5 free channels. But if you want more, you can add them. But you know what? We had to create another innovation. We said, okay, you can have 5 free channels. Okay? But if at the weekend there's something you are seeing on a paid channel, you pay for 3 days. No contractual obligation. You see, it's innovation that you use to push your way in. Okay? So you don't have, if you are struggling, you need to revisiting your innovation side. What are we doing to innovate more is what the young entrepreneur must always be doing. Okay? But once you make some profit on a business or on a contract, put the money back into the business. Let the business hold the money. You don't do a job, make some profit, you disappear to build something, buy a car and so forth. Then you won't grow because you remain at the same size. But if you use the profit, that's what I was trying to say in there, use the profit. For the next 3 or 4 years, just keep your head down. You don't have to show anybody anything. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. Just keep using your profits. When you do turn to use your profits, they'll be so big that you won't have to worry about it anymore. Okay? So the thing is, it's like child spacing, huh? Allow the business to grow strong first before you try and do it. Even starting a new venture. Okay? If you've only been doing your business for 3, 4 years, somebody comes and says, no, I have a good idea. You say, please wait. I need to make this one strong first. Okay? When you've really got that strong, new ideas don't go away. There'll be even new ones better than what someone brought you. Those are part of the disciplines of business that we talk about. It's both financial discipline. I pointed out earlier that one of the disciplines is pay yourself a salary so that you know how much your salary is not your profit. That's not your salary. Your salary is something you pay. Same time you pay all your workers, you pay yourself. And you pay yourself last. Your workers first.
Thank you very much, sir.